Do a garden update, just a general update. Plants are growing tall in a lot of cases. You can see the squash are reaching, like this honey nut here, reaching to the top along with the pole beans on the end there and the cucumbers in between. You look between the rows, you can see it's shaded. And the tomatoes are getting nice and tall now and setting lots of fruit. I've got a lot of babies. And down here we've got the watermelon, melon, and some tomatoes in between. And some intermixed okra down there as well. I'll take you a little closer. These are the Vortex pole beans. I've got 10 grow bags along this trellis here. And they're doing great, except for last night's heavy thunderstorm. Look at this. It tore the leaves all to dickens everywhere. The pole beans took the worst of it. And but I do have some baby green beans coming on here. You can see a couple here. Flowering is starting to go really well. There's not hardly any insect damage, so the pole beans are doing really well for me. Got 5 containers of peppers, and they are a breeding, all 5 are a breeding of mine. One I call 3 colors, and the others are a very mildly spicy bell pepper. It's all of these are on a compact growth, compact bushiness type plant. Looking good. Took some wind damage from those thunderstorms, but still looking pretty good. As you can see, they're starting to set as well. Got some over here. Got 2 containers, grow bags of my royal purple eggplant. Took a little damage, but look at that beautiful set fruit right there. I love the darkness and the striking green contrast. Got another one set over there. More flowering going on, and pretty soon we'll be inundated with eggplants. Got a couple vines of a cross of mine is between the Tahitian melon squash, which is a really sweet neck gourd, neck pumpkin, whatever you want to call it, and butterball, which was a round machada butternut that came out of me crossing 3 different other types of varieties of butternut. So I crossed those 2 just because it would be fun to see what it looked like. I got one coming on here. I got another one coming on here from a different plant. I also took some damage from the storm, but they're not too horribly bad. These are the piccolinos. Let me see how many I've got here. I've got about 7 containers, maybe 8, and they're just setting like freaking crazy. I got a refrigerator full, a Walmart bag full of these, and they're just setting like crazy. Look at that. I gotta come out here and get them almost every day. I have to pick these, and I do like the taste of them. They're pretty good, but I liked my Sweet Success better, but they're just too big. So what I may end up doing is doing some kind of cross. We'll see. So yeah, piccolina cucumbers, they took some damage too from the storm. See some on the leaf there, but production out the yang. These are my honey nuts, and not everything is ideal. The plants are ideal, they're doing great, but I'm not getting any male flowers, so they're not getting pollinated. This one may have gotten pollinated. I do have one pollinator down there I showed you already, but a lot of them are not getting pollinated because they're not producing any males. Hopefully, like here, I'm seeing some potential there, and we'll start getting some of these wonderful honey nut, which is a butternut squash. Got some honey bears that are starting to produce. Honey bear is an orange cherry of mine. That's parthenocarpic. You got 5 containers of those up to here. The next 5 are sugar bear, and sugar bear is a pink grape type tomato that's absolutely wonderful. We've got some babies coming on here, you can see there, and here and here as well. Got 3 rows here, behind it 1 row, and behind it another row is all Super Bear. And Super Bear is starting to produce. This is the 2nd generation, so all the fruit's going to be somewhat different. But they're all setting like crazy. Really, really good for me. Really good bit of fruit set, which you kind of expect this time of year. Now we're getting into the mid to upper 90s now. It's not even July. So we're going to really see how parthenocarpy works for me when this happens. I'm looking forward to it actually, just to see how much fruit set I can get from my parthenocarpy. So the parthenocarpy that I have that I'm going to be marketing in the near, well, I won't say near future, but in the future, is called Pat B, PAT-B. Got a hodgepodge of squash coming up here, some open pollinated, but some that aren't. Got lemon in those. And a cross of mine I'll talk about later. This is a Haifa, H-A-I-F-A zucchini. Sibley squash. I'm looking at potentially crossing that. We got a Madison's cross here. An older seed. I'm growing older seed compared to new seed to see the differences between the two. Another crossing type of machada butternut type squash here. I'll discuss at a later date. Another Madison's cross, and then the delicata, Feroce delicate, and Madison's cross that I am talking about quite a bit. This is pink cherry bear, and they're starting to set. It's very similar in growth habit, different parents, but very similar in growth habit to the honey bear. But this is pink cherry bear. Got a lot of fruit set going on here. The next 5 are Better Boys, and I'm growing Better Boys to eat, but also to compare and trial against my parthenocarpet varieties. So I got 5 of those, and they are setting fruit. They're not very tall compared to mine, like you'll see here, but they're doing great. Like I said, this is the Super Bear. I'm going to get down here to the next one. We've already talked about the Super Bear, that row, and this one here. This is yellow cherry bear, and it's setting like crazy. This is a parthenocarpet cherry. It's a double hybrid cross. I took 2 tomatoes, crossed them, and got an F1 hybrid and 2 different crosses, and then I crossed those 2 F1s together for a double hybrid cross, just to get some variety and something unique. So they're setting like crazy. I got a lot of cherry tomatoes, different kinds, different looks. So that's yellow cherry bear coming down. I've got 10 of those plants. This one's got a really big truss. I took after my original parthenocarpet variety, which is almost a cineflora. It produces a lot of tomatoes in each truss. This is red cherry bear. I've got tons of great examples there. It's a single cross, and it's got blight resistance bred into it. Hopefully a good strong blight resistance, but you can see I've got lots of fruit set all over this, all over all of these, which is fantastic. I'm really happy about that. I can't wait to start sampling them. See, you got a lot there. Being the 2nd generation, there's only going to be a 25% roughly chance of getting parthenocarpic, that'll don't need to be fertilized to grow. So anyway, that's red cherry bear. So I've got red, yellow, and pink cherry bear. Yellow cherry bear also has some blight resistance in one of the 4 parents. I didn't mention that, did I? This is my small seed watermelon project. What I'm attempting to do is breed nice icebox size watermelons of about 6 to 8 pounds. They can be kept in the refrigerator and get nice and cold, but have really tiny seeds so that when you eat them, you don't even have to worry about picking the seeds out, because they'll be almost unnoticeable. Now, I've had some last year, and that is the case, but they were really small. They were about a pound. So I need to increase, and I can tell from the pattern that they crossed with another one that that's a little larger icebox size that I selected to cross it with. So it's doing really good. They're starting to grow. Here's a couple, a little one and a good size one here. I need to support this one because it's starting to get heavy and good size. I can already tell that this one's going to be bigger. Whether it crossed with the small seeded ones, I don't know, because they look like that right there last year. So that's the watermelons. They're coming along nicely. I don't need to get a lot to eat because it's a breeding project, but I do love to eat me some watermelon. Bypassing here, this is again Super Bear. I have 3 rows of those. I'm getting into my melon now, and my melons are finally starting to put on babies. You can see here. Now this melon is, it's the 4th or 5th generation. I'm not quite sure. Here's one. I just noticed while I was talking to you here. And it is a melon I'm calling Cantaloupe Cream because it is like a, well, it's cream colored and it's very juicy, and it's a fragrant, it has a little bit of a cantaloupe taste to it, but it's got a flowery, sweet, awesome taste to it as well. And the reason why is because this was developed from a landrace population. I grew out several different melons. Like I grew out crane melon, I grew out canary melon, I grew out ambrosia melon, I grew out Kirtland melon, Topeka or Topita, which was some kind of Eastern European country melon, Kirkland, and probably a couple more I just can't think of right now. Cantaloupe, I can't remember the something gold. Anyway, I grew out a lot of different, and I just all in one patch intermixed, and the bees just pollinated them. And so the next year I grew them, and they were just all over the place. And I selected at that time the ones I thought that tasted the best, and then I did it again the next year. And now what's happening is my selections are reducing the genetic diversity towards becoming a cultivar fairly soon. In the next couple generations it'll be a cultivar. So I'm going to do that again, but this time there's going to be even more tightening of the genes, and it's working really well for me, because one of the things that happens with the landrace population, like I just told you about, was in essence the same thing I did with my tomatoes. I took them and I let them cross themselves. So what happens is that the ones that grow the best and do the best here in my heat are the ones that naturally carry forward. And that's why these look so good, is because they're used to my area, and the ones that do well in my area crossed with each other. And so every season they get more and more acclimated to what I would think would be the south, a hot, humid area. So they're doing really well, looking really good, and they taste so good. Much better than a cantaloupe to me. Awesome. So that's kind of it. I'm at the other end of the garden now. I just kind of do a pan, let you see. You can see that it's reaching near the top of the trellis, in some cases as high as the trellis. And all I do at that point is I just take and start clamping them down, going sideways. So that's how I deal with it. And then another thing I do is I cut off excess leaves, and they become just essentially like long stems, like you may see when people grow tomatoes in commercial greenhouses. They grow up, and as they get taller they remove the old leaves, and then they essentially become a whole bunch of stems except for the top, I don't know, 4 or 5 feet. And that's a similar concept to what I'm doing here. When you grow up a trellis and then you grow like this, where there's not a lot of open air, you have to keep the vegetation down, and it also encourages growth. It does a lot of things. It helps with insects, keeps them down, it keeps disease off a lot better, and you know, the overall whole thing here is I get the whole concept here is I get a lot of production, a lot of growing capability in a smaller footprint because I'm growing vertically. Sprint, you guys. We'll see you later.
How long do we gotta stay here for people we don't know in one lines? All of the clothes are designer, fast cars and who knows who. Yeah, I know what they wanna say. They're gonna ask me if I'm gonna make it. I don't care if I'm gonna have to fake it, long as I can be real with